All right, now we're actually going to talk about vertex form, as well as standard form, as well as general form. All the forms are in this video, okay? So if you were upset that I didn't get to it in the previous one, don't worry, it's our time to shine. So we're going to start by talking about general form. This is the one we're familiar with, okay? The general form of a parabola is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, standard form, also known as vertex form, is the really nice one. This is nice in some situation, but standard form or vertex form is also really nice. And that's going to be y equals a, that's the same a, times x minus h squared plus k. And this is really nice because it is exactly what we've been using for function transformations, right? This says that we have our standard parabola, y equals x squared. We moved it right h, up k. Now we're right h and up k. hk is our vertex, just like the letters we used in the first video. And then vertically stretch it by a. And if a is negative, then we vertically stretch it and make it downwards. Okay, so this is just function transformations. All right, so again, this a is the same. And hk is the vertex. They're both really useful forms, but they have different uses. All right, so let's get into some examples. Example 3. Rewrite in standard form or vertex form, same thing, and find the vertex. Now there's two ways of doing this. There's two ways of rewriting something in a standard form. One is by completing the square, and the second method is by finding the vertex directly and then just using this formula. All right, so you have two options for these ones. Complete the square. This is historically an unpopular option, and I'm not going to be doing it in this video, but it's very cool, and there are plenty of videos out there that do it. The second one is use vertex form. And that's what we'll be doing in this video. So let's find the vertex. We have to do that anyway, so it works out. The vertex, right? Well, in order to find the vertex, we have to find the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is at negative b over 2a. What are our a's and b's here, right? A is the coefficient of x squared. That's 1. B is the coefficient of x. That's negative 12. Remember the negative. Itchy face today. And c is that constant at the end. It's positive 32. So as you simplify this, negative 12 becomes positive 12. You can think of negatives as opposites. So the opposite of an opposite is just the positive number. 2 times a is just 2. This is our axis of symmetry. So the vertex, I should have done this on the next page. Axis of symmetry is x equals 6. So the vertex is at 6, and then whatever the function value is at 6. We don't know the y value. Let's find the y value. How do we find y values? Plugging them in. F of 6 is 6 squared. I'm just going to copy the function down again. X squared minus 12x plus 32. All right. So f of 6 is 6 squared minus 12 times 6 plus 32. Go ahead and use a calculator. That's going to be 36 minus 72 is negative 36 plus 32 is negative 4. Hopefully. If not, you'll let me know. So that's our vertex. This is part of our answer. We needed the vertex. But we also needed it in vertex form. All right. Vertex form is this. Let's copy that down as well. Y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k, where hk is the vertex. So we already know what h and k are here. All that's missing is a. But we already said what a was too. We already said a is equal to 1. So vertex form is just going to be 1, which we don't need to write. Multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything. X minus h is 6. And k is negative 4. So it becomes x minus 6 squared plus a negative 4 is minus a negative, like so. And if you want to check your answer, there's a great way of doing that. Let's use Desmos. So first, let's plot the original problem. X squared minus 12x plus 32. Is that the same as our answer of y equals x minus whatever it was, x minus 6 minus 4? Oops, I was like, these aren't the same. I didn't square it. Yay, they're the same thing. That's one way of seeing whether you're right. And the vertex again, the vertex is at 6, negative 4. So we know we're right. Hooray. Let's do another problem. We got plenty more problems here. H of x equals 2x squared plus 8x minus 10. So again, it's helpful to identify your A, your B, and your C. Actually, we don't even need C here. A is 2, B is 8. So vertex occurs at the axis of symmetry. The vertex is always on this axis of symmetry. Always, always. Axis of symmetry is the middle of the quadratic formula at x equals negative b over 2a. So plug that in. Negative b is negative 8. 2 times a is 4. It simplifies down to negative 2. That's where our axis of symmetry is for this graph. The vertical line at negative 2. So the vertex is just on the axis of symmetry. To find the y value, let's just plug in negative 2 and find the y value. So it's 2 times negative 2 squared plus 8 times negative 2 minus 10. This becomes 2 times positive 4. It's positive 8. All right, what if I did at least one step? 8 minus 16 is negative 8. Minus 10 is negative 18. The vertex is pretty low this time. So that's one thing we needed. Next, vertex form says it's going to be y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Well, h is negative 2. K is negative 18. It's just the coordinates of the vertex. And a, we said, was positive 2. This becomes y equals 2 times x minus a negative 2 is x plus a 2. Subtracting a negative is adding a positive. Plus k, k is negative 18. This should be our answer. Let's get into the habit of checking our answers. 2 times x plus 2 squared minus 18. So again, we're going to have to zoom out. This one got moved around a little bit. And the original problem was 2x squared plus 8x minus 10. And, it's the same function. Excellent. And this problem can appear in a couple different ways as well. So these next two problems just are like other illustrations of the same problem. To use the vertex, HK, and a point on the graph, XY, to find the general form of the following. So in this problem, I'm going to tell you that HK is 2, 0. That's the vertex at 2, 0. And there's some other point on the graph with the coordinates 4, 4. So we want to find general form. Remember, general form was ax squared plus bx plus c. But that's hard. We're very close to knowing vertex form. Like, vertex form is going to be much easier. Right, vertex form is a times x minus h squared plus k. I know almost all of this. I know h, I know k. So let's start with vertex form and then just get it into general form afterwards. So we know what h and k are, so vertex form is going to be a, we still don't know that, x minus h squared plus k. So if we know a, we're pretty much good to go. That's where this point comes in. So use the fact that x comma y is a point on the graph to find a. Let's plug these in. This is our x. And that's our y. That's going to give us that 4 is equal to a times 4 minus 2 squared plus 0. Be very careful when solving this. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Divide both sides by 4. And you're going to get that a equals 1. Once we do that, we have everything we need. Y is equal to a, which is 1, times x minus h squared plus k. And you can check your answer too. Is this a point? Let's graph it. Let's check our answer the good way. It's going to be 1 times x minus 2 squared. So is the vertex at 2, 0? Yes, it is. Is the point 4, 4 on the graph? Yes, it is. That's our parabola. All right. Yeah, that's our parabola. That's this example. Let's look at it in a different way with example 5, which is really number 50 in the textbook. So pull up the textbook, number 50. I'm in the wrong section. Wrong chapter even. Fun fact, if you're trying to get to a problem quickly, just Control F for find, type problem number with a period, and it should pop right to it. And this says, use the table of values to determine the vertex and find the general form. So it's asking us to do the same thing as the last problem. It just wants us to do these other things. So these points are on the graph. There's two ways of doing this. It might help you to plot these points. All right, if you plot these points, it's going to give you some good information. You don't have to plot it. I want to show how useful it is to plot it, okay? So, wait, I opened it into a new window for some reason. So it's optional to plot because it's going to make it, I think it's going to be very helpful. So I'm going to show that off here. All right, let's say we're over here. I didn't look at what our values were. I don't know how big we need to be. All right, we have mostly positive values, so let's look at this. So -2, +8. I'm going to show where the 5s are. -2, +8 is right here. -1, +2. 0, 0. 1, 2. And 2, 8. So if we plot it, that actually kind of answers almost everything for us. This tells us exactly what this graph looks like, right? We could just connect the dots. The vertex is at 0, 0. Nice. What else do we need to do? Find the general form. We'll do it like we did last time. Okay? So general form, let's start with vertex form. Y equals A, which we don't know, times x minus h squared plus k. Oh, this is actually a pretty nice... We know it has to look like this when we simplify. So just like last time they gave us a specific point, but this time we have 4 points we can choose. Choose any other point that we haven't chosen yet and plug it in to solve for A. Any of those points would work. I like simple positive points, so I'll choose this one. 1, 2. That's going to be our xy. But again, any of these points would have worked. So 1 plugs in for x, 2 plugs in for y, and we use that for a. So 2 is equal to a times x squared. 2 is equal to a times 1. Oh, a is equal to 2. So y is equal to 2x squared. Oh, we don't even have to FOIL it this time to get it into general form. Did I actually get this one in general form? I didn't. I answered in standard form. Shame on you, Jason. Hope all of you were shouting at the screen, jumping up and down, making everyone who lives in the same house or your neighbors say, "What is going on?" And you say, "He put it in standard form, not general form, the fool." So to put it in general form, you just have to FOIL it out. Expand this out. So x minus 2 squared means x minus 2 times itself. That's what squaring something means. And then we FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. There's also a shortcut for this one. Either way, you should get x squared minus 2x minus another 2x plus 4. Or x squared minus 4x plus 4 is what this is in general form. Luckily, there's nothing to FOIL here. This is already in general form. We don't have to do that step this time. All right. But anytime you have something like x minus 1 squared, you're going to have to FOIL and combine like terms and put it in general form. Anytime you have something like that. But this is already in general form. Remember that general form is this one right here, this red equation. And that's everything in this video. Let me know if you have questions. Good luck. You should be set up for success. I'll see you next time.